Verse 10 of chapter 17. In order to reward each individual based on their behavior, I, the Lord, looked into their hearts and minds, based on what their actions merit. Observe how God looks into people's hearts. What others overlook, he sees. He honors the inner as well as the external. Your intentions are important. Your invisible work counts. He cherishes your secret decisions. Consider the burning of a candle in a huge cathedral. When all the other lights flash, no one may see its lone flame. However, the room becomes darker when that one candle is removed. That's the nature of your behavior. It is a part of the totality. It delays the evening. Remember that even the slightest obedience from the opponent makes them shudder. Why? Because he is aware that obeying God puts you in line with his will. Additionally, even a little act of alignment with God may have a profound impact on his kingdom. Chains may be broken with a murmured prayer. Desperation may be silenced by gentle compassion. Lies may be overturned by a single decision of truth. Don't minimize what God values, chosen one. Your behavior today is out of the usual. They are eternally heavy. The tale that heaven will tell about you includes them. So take each step with confidence. You will never understand how important every decision is right now. And you will realize the enormity of what seemed to be insignificant when the curtain is removed one day. Because of what you accomplished today, you will comprehend the happiness that flooded heaven. God is pleased that what you sown in quiet has already made it to his throne. Your faithfulness is still shining brightly today, like a hidden gem in the crown that God is building for you. Even if the world may not cheer, today's faithfulness has already been documented for posterity. Continue on, because heaven itself attests that you are not forgotten. You are a selected one who is much cherished. It is not weak to obey. It's combat. Type amen to embrace the angel's blessings. Show your support by giving super thanks up to $20. Saying yes to God in the hidden spots silences the devil's schemes. What seemed to be a silent decision today was really a statement that you are his. These moments are often missed by the world. They don't celebrate silence, they relish loudness. They pay respect to the stage rather than the secret location. But things operate differently in heaven. Faithfulness that no one else observes is celebrated in the kingdom. That's when your real power comes through. Consider the roots of a large oak tree. They are not admired. They are buried, hidden from view. However, the tree's ability to withstand storms is attributed to their roots. That's the nature of your obedience. Unseen, but essential to the future, is root work. I remember a dedicated servant who served for years. No fame, no honor. He quietly contributed, worked, and prayed. People walked past him like he was just another person. However, his unwavering resolve became the rock that others clung to during a crisis. Strength suddenly erupted from his concealed obedience. Through the prophet Jeremiah, the Spirit communicated. Verse 10 of chapter 17. I, the Lord, look into people's hearts and minds to reward them based on their behavior and what their actions merit. Well, do you see that God sees what people miss? He faithfully rewards deeply. Even if your obedience is veiled from the outside world now, it is bright in heaven. Think of it as a painter working in the dark. The brush strokes are invisible. However, everyone is astounded by the artwork when the light is exposed. God is using your decisions to weave a beautiful tapestry in this way. I now want you to use your comments to create a prophetic statement. Put these 3 words in writing. Not visible yet hidden. Oh, why? Considering that this is your testimony. Although you are concealed from human acclaim, God can see you clearly. You are stating that heavenly acknowledgement, not visibility, is the true measure of your worth. Even when you are ignored, you are reminding yourself and making a declaration to heaven. I'm not forgotten. My compliance is noted. My faith is evident. Selected one, raise your head. Though concealed, you are seen. And God's heart is glad for you in that concealment. You can question if God really sees me. What's causing me to still feel invisible here on earth? That is the chosen one's conundrum. There is no consequence for the concealed season. It's getting ready. Your heart is being trained by the Father to exist just for his eyes. Therefore, you won't be influenced by praise or demoralized by criticism when the time comes for you to be seen. Consider Joseph in the jail, who was daily remembered by God but forgotten by humanity. In a place that appeared to bury his dreams, he served with loyalty. However, his spirit was fortified, his obedience put to the test, and his character was honed in that same jail. He was prepared to assume the responsibilities of leadership without concealing his loyalty when the doors opened. He couldn't have had any discernible impact. This is also your tale. Your covert actions now are influencing the task for tomorrow. While everyone is looking, the strength you're developing while no one is will keep you stable. Let me paint you this picture now. Consider the formation of a pearl within a shell. In the dark, the slow effort goes unnoticed. It's not comfy. Silently, layer after layer was added. What God is accomplishing in you through obedience is that when the shell eventually opens, what formerly seemed inconsequential becomes breathtakingly beautiful. Do not hate the quiet. Waiting is not something to hate. Every invisible step adds another layer of splendor. The mystery is right here. Your unspoken obedience is changing other people's lives in addition to molding you. Your hush prayer could have saved someone from catastrophe. It's possible that your words of encouragement saved someone from despair. You may never fully understand its significance until all is revealed in eternity. Just a quick reminder that your efforts are not in vain. Heaven maintains a separate score. Heaven writes every sentence in permanent ink, while earth can forget. Therefore, you are not just restating what has already been said when you say hidden yet seen. You're confirming heaven's viewpoint. You are reminding yourself that a greater recognition is what you live for, and that utterance turns into a weapon. It silences falsehoods that claim you are unimportant, forgotten, and ignored. You stand in truth instead. I've been picked. I'm spotted. I'm cherished. Allow that truth to guide you. There will be additional options tomorrow. There are new situations when you have to choose between obedience and comfort. When that time arrives, keep in mind that the Father is already celebrating and that heaven is watching. Thus, raise your gaze, calm your heart, and continue moving. You are completely visible yet concealed, and the hidden will reveal itself in splendor one day. Selected one, your path has a beauty that you often fail to recognize. You quickly write off your steps as being insignificant. Heaven, however, considers them heavy. You are adding timeless lines to God's tale each time you walk in faithfulness without anybody noticing. You continue to provide when no one expresses gratitude. You continue helping when no one is looking. You continue to choose faith even when it seems like there is no end in sight. This is not a sign of weakness. Strength is this. It's the type of power that transforms everything around you while moving stealthily. Imagine a river chiseling away at rock. It never stops moving, although it doesn't always make a lot of noise. What seemed to be unalterable gradually changes. That is consistency's strength. Obedience's strength. In paradise, what seems commonplace to you is remarkable. Once upon a time, a chosen one suffered years of miscommunication. Despite his strong devotion, he was accused of being uncaring. Despite his persistent efforts, he was accused of being lethargic. He never stopped praying. Others, however, made fun of his beliefs. He stayed steady, however. And why didn't he give up? The knowledge that his life's audience was heaven, not people. His loyalty became indisputable after a number of years. According to what is revealed in Hebrews 6 verses 6 to 10, even his detractors were unable to reject the results of his unwavering obedience. God is not unfair. As you have helped and will continue to aid his people, he will never forget your efforts and the love you have given him. This reality has a solid foundation. God never forgets. People can fail to notice. The world could overlook it. However, God keeps track of every aspect of your love. He doesn't let anything go past him. Take a moment to imagine the scent of incense ascending. One grain seems to be tiny, very little. However, the scent permeates the whole space when the fire hits it. Your obedience is that. Today, the one grain of submission turns into a fragrance that reaches the throne of heaven. Or think of a spring that is concealed underground. Although no one is aware of it for years, it gradually rises, penetrates the ground, and transforms into a stream that revitalizes everything in its path. Your invisible actions of trust are similar to the life that is growing under the surface of the spring. It will eventually emerge for others to sip from. Selected 1. The concealed years have a mystical quality. Their time is not wasted. You're being shaped by them. You're being anchored by them. They're demonstrating the depth of your faith. When fruit is not yet apparent, it is simple to get agitated. It's simple to wonder whether your work matters. Yet heaven whispers, yes, it matters more than you know. Your unseen choices are investments into eternity. Do not despise what feels like delay. Delays in heaven's timeline are not denial. They are deepening. Every waiting season has purpose. Every hidden act of faith is storing up treasure that will one day be revealed. There is a pattern woven through Scripture. God often hides his chosen before he reveals them. Moses in the desert, David in the fields, Esther in the palace shadows, Jesus himself in Nazareth, working quietly before his ministry began. Their hidden years were not empty. They were essential. So too are yours. The hidden place is where strength is forged, where faith is tested, where obedience is purified. And though men may not honor it, heaven already rejoices. Chosen one, hear this. Your story is not small. Your faithfulness is not wasted. Your journey is not forgotten. Every step is leading somewhere. Every act is shaping eternity. The tapestry of your life is still being woven thread by thread. Right now, you may only see the knots in the backside, but one day the pattern will be turned over and the beauty will be undeniable. Until then, walk steady. Trust the unseen hand that records every moment. Let heaven's joy be your strength. For what you did today, though small in your eyes, was immense in his. And when you feel the weight of being unnoticed, remember this. Heaven's silence is not absence. It is a deeper invitation. God is not testing to see if you can perform for people. He is shaping you to walk for his eyes alone. The applause of men fades quickly, but the delight of God endures forever. Every quiet step, every hidden yes is laying up a reward. No one can take away. So stand firm. Chosen one, you are seen. You are remembered, and your obedience is writing a legacy that will echo through eternity. Chosen one, let me speak straight to your spirit. What you do in secret matters. What you chose today was not random. Heaven saw it, and it was like a spark of light piercing through the atmosphere of darkness. That spark is stronger than you realize. Think of a lantern placed in a window at night. Even if it burns with a small flame, travelers far away can see it and find direction. That is what your obedience is doing. You are a lantern for someone wandering in the dark. And while you may not see how far the light travels, heaven is measuring every ripple. But here's something many forget. Light doesn't only shine, it multiplies. A single candle can light another and another until the whole room glows. That is what your life is doing. And that is also why communities like this one exist. So that the flame God placed in you does not flicker out, but grows stronger as it connects with others. There was a chosen one who often felt her actions were too small to matter. She prayed quietly, gave what she could, encouraged. When she had strength, she thought heaven barely noticed. But one day, someone told her, "Your words saved me when I was ready to give up." And she realized what she thought was little was actually priceless. Scripture says in the Gospel of Matthew 5, verse 14, "You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden." Oh, that is who you are. A city on a hill, a light that cannot be hidden. You may feel hidden, but heaven sees the glow of your faith and others are drawn to it. And now let me speak to you with sincerity. If this message has stirred something in your heart, you can respond in different ways by pressing like to affirm the word, by sharing it so that another soul finds hope, or by subscribing so you never miss the next word spoken over your journey. And there is one more step for those who feel led. If you sense the Lord nudging you, You may also donate not as a demand, but as an act of love. Think of it as adding oil to a lamp, ensuring the flame keeps burning for others still walking in darkness. Not everyone can, and that is perfectly fine. Your listening heart, your prayers, your presence here are already treasures in heaven. But if God stirs you to sow, your gift becomes like a seed planted in fertile soil, multiplying into hope for lives you may never meet. Each act like share, subscribe, or donate is voluntary, never forced. It is simply another way for your light to join with others, building something stronger, brighter, and reaching further. Imagine this. Your support, whether through prayer, sharing, subscribing, or giving, is like adding another stone to the foundation of a lighthouse. Every stone strengthens the tower, and together, the lighthouse stands tall, guiding countless ships safely to shore. That is the kind of impact your yes carries. It is never just about you. It is about the ripple. It is about the light reaching someone who thought they were lost forever. Chosen one, whether you simply receive this word with open hands or whether you feel stirred to act, know this. Heaven is watching the posture of your heart.
And every act done in love moves God's heart with joy. Your flame matters. Your support matters. Together the light only grows brighter. So keep shining. Keep sobbing. And if you feel led, take a step not out of pressure, but out of freedom. For every seed sown into light multiplies into eternity. And remember this, chosen one. Every time you support the spreading of light, you are not just helping a message. You are strengthening a movement. What feels like a small act on your end becomes a wave of hope in someone else's life. Think of a raindrop alone. It seems so small. Yet when joined with countless others, it fills rivers, nourishes fields, and turns barren land green again. That is how your yes works. Whether in prayer, in sharing, in subscribing, or in giving, it becomes part of something far larger than itself. Do not underestimate it. The Father delights not in the size of your gift, but in the heart behind it. Your obedience in these little things is like fragrance poured out, filling heaven's courts with joy. So walk with freedom, shine with courage. Know that every act done in love echoes into eternity. Chosen one, something holy happens when you obey in silence. What you did today may not have looked like much, but heaven recorded it as weighty. You turned a moment of temptation into a moment of victory. You chose God's way instead of your own. That decision mattered. You may never fully grasp how powerful small acts of faith can be, but know this. Darkness trembles at them. Every time you pray instead of complain. Every time you forgive instead of hold bitterness. Every time you act with kindness instead of anger, the atmosphere shifts. Heaven rejoices. Let me remind you of a story. There was a woman who had prayed for her son for many years. He mocked her faith, rejected her counsel, and turned away. But still she prayed. Others told her to give up, that nothing would change. Yet her quiet persistence became her greatest strength. One night, her son found himself at a breaking point. He remembered his mother's prayers and words. And in that moment, he turned his heart back to God. Her hidden obedience shook eternity. The Word of God declares in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." And this is your encouragement. Do not give up. What you are doing today is sowing seed. Seed always looks small. It always feels buried. But in time, it breaks the surface and grows into something you could never imagine. Picture your obedience as drops of rain falling into dry ground. One drop alone may not look like much, but drop after drop, the earth softens and soon life begins to break forth. That is how heaven works through your faith. Or see it this way, your obedience is like a hidden bridge being built plank by plank. Each choice adds another piece, and one day you will look back and realize you've crossed a chasm you thought impossible. Chosen one, your steps may feel unnoticed, but they are constructing something eternal. The unseen is always more powerful than what the eye can measure. There was another chosen one, a man who served in obscurity. He never spoke loudly, never demanded attention, but he kept showing up day after day, faithful in his tasks. People around him overlooked his consistency, but heaven was shaping him. Years later, when leadership was needed, Everyone turned to him because they realized his hidden obedience had built unshakable strength. So, it will be with you. The things you do in secret today are shaping the crown you will one day wear. But I want you to do something prophetic right now. In the comments, write this number 555. Why this number? Because it represents grace multiplied. 5 is the number of grace. And repeating it 3 times is a way of declaring, I walk under multiplied grace. My hidden acts are covered, strengthened, and blessed by heaven's power. Oh, when you type 555, you are not writing digits. You are making a spiritual statement. You are declaring that you will not grow weary in doing good, that you trust God's timing, and that His grace is more than enough to sustain you. This act may feel simple, but just like your obedience, it carries weight in the unseen. It aligns your spirit with heaven's perspective. Chosen one, lift your head. What you did today delighted the Father. It shifted something in the spiritual realm. Keep doing it. Keep solving. Keep trusting. Your labor is not in vain. You are hidden yet seen. Ordinary in the world's eyes. Extraordinary in heaven's. Your story is unfolding. And every step you take echoes into eternity. Do not let discouragement whisper to you. It doesn't matter. That is the voice of deception. Heaven has already marked today's act as precious. What seems small on earth is celebrated in eternity. Think of a single thread in a vast tapestry. Alone. It looks weak, almost meaningless. Yet without that thread, the entire design is incomplete. That is how your obedience fits into God's masterpiece. So let your heart rest. Let your spirit breathe. You are not overlooked, not forgotten, not wasting your effort. The Lord Himself delights in what you have done today. And when tomorrow comes, carry the same strength forward. Choose once again. Obey once again. Shine once again, for heaven is watching. The angels are recording and your story is being woven into glory. Every hidden act becomes a stone in the path God is building for you. Step by step, choice by choice, you are walking into a future designed by His hands, steady, secure, and filled with His delight. Chosen one, pause and notice the weight of what you carry. Today you thought you were simply choosing patience or speaking gently or praying quietly. Yet those actions carried eternal meaning. Heaven measures in ways you cannot yet see. This is the mystery of faithfulness. It hides in plain sight. It does not demand attention, but it shifts atmospheres. It does not require applause, but it breaks chains. Your smallest act of obedience today has already echoed into eternity. Think of a seed hidden underground. From the surface, it looks like nothing has changed. But beneath the soil, life is moving. Roots are pushing down. Stems preparing to rise. The waiting season looks silent, but it is alive with unseen work. That is your life right now. There was once a chosen one who lived in the quiet routines of daily life. He cared for his family, worked with integrity, and gave to the poor. No great stories were told about him in his lifetime. Yet when he passed, people came from everywhere to tell how he had impacted them through simple kindness, through small acts of faithfulness. What seemed ordinary had carried extraordinary weight. The ancient words recorded in the book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 7 remind us, "The Lord is good, a refuge in times of trouble. Those that trust Him are important to Him." You see, God is aware. God is concerned. God also keeps in mind. You are not wasting everything you do in His honor. He recognizes it as worthwhile when you have enough faith in Him to comply in covert ways. Think of it as the reverse of embroidery. The cloth seems disorganized, with knots and twisted threads. However, a lovely pattern is exposed when it is flipped over. Heaven already sees the whole image, even if you can only see the backside of your narrative right now. Or picture a potter using a wheel to shape clay.
In the hands of the potter, every turn and squeeze is deliberate. Yet to the uneducated eye, it seems to be haphazard spinning. God is forming you into a vessel for His glory by means of your everyday obedience. It is simple to undervalue the significance of your religion when you choose one. According to the world, anything is not powerful if it is not loud. Heaven, however, asserts that it is everlasting if loyal. And reflect on the silent choices you made today. Putting prayer before fear. Deciding to be honest rather than compromise. Choosing to be calm instead than angry. Heaven is celebrating these achievements. These are the actions that give you invincible power. There's more to the tale. A lady who awaited her promise for many years. She was made fun of by others who said her prayers were ineffective. Nevertheless, she persisted in muttering her requests to God day after day. It was evident that her years of concealed faith had not been in vain when she eventually made her breakthrough. She had been prepared with strength. She could now bear the gift without feeling overwhelmed by it. The same is true for you. Your years of concealment are not meaningless. They are sacred. You are being strengthened by them, forming your personality and getting your crown ready. Don't hate these times. Don't consider them unimportant. Every action you do is laying a stone for your future. Because of these buried stones, the building will stand as it rises. Pick one and feel your heart rise. Heaven maintains a record of your actions today. It is something that the Lord himself enjoys. And eternity will echo with the results of your obedience, even if the world never cheers. Continue with assurance. Your efforts are remembered. We don't ignore your tale. You are not wasting your life. Every step is visible to the person who phoned you. And he grinned. And keep in mind that even the tiniest light may drive back the darkness when you're feeling exhausted and your heart is asking, does this even matter? A traveler may be safely led home by a solitary flame. That is your choice's power. Now you may not hear applause. Heaven is not quiet, even if you haven't seen any fruit yet. Angels, pay attention. Every act of faith is treasured by your Father. Imagine a steady stream of rain falling on a stone. Nothing seems to change at first. However, even the toughest surface changes form over time. In the same way, your loyal and consistent obedience changes things that appeared unchangeable. So let your heart be protected by tranquility. Don't base your life on what other people think of you. By the delight it gives to God, you may measure it. We don't forget you. You're not invisible. You are a living testament that will one day shine brighter than gold, inscribed day by day in secret ink. Selected one. You are unaware of the force behind every step you take in faith. The events of today may have seemed subdued, even unmemorable, but it was like a trumpet blow in the invisible realm. The voice of obedience is too loud for darkness to bear. Walking obediently when no one else is cheering is a sacred experience. Your fate is built upon your invisible deeds. Yes, every murmured prayer is secret. Every decision you make to live a moral life creates a legacy that is unimaginable. Imagine a blacksmith working at his forge. Strike after strike, the hammer's repetitive blows seem routine, even boring. The metal is formed into something robust, practical, and long-lasting. That's what your compliance accomplishes. Your soul is forged till it shines with the radiance of heaven. For years, the chosen one served without a title, a stage, or any acknowledgement. His life was seen as ordinary. However, God utilized his calm constancy as a kind of preparation. He was prepared when the time came. His covert training turned into his candid testimony. This is brought to our attention by David's writings in Psalms 37, verse 23. The Lord directs an upright man's feet, and he enjoys following his path. And you need to keep it in mind. Every action is planned, even the little ones, particularly the little ones. Heaven is directing you when you choose trust over skepticism. God is directing your actions when you choose to be patient rather than frustrated. The way you walk makes him happy. Consider a painter creating a masterpiece with hundreds of brushstrokes. No single stroke seems to be significant at first. Some are never seen because they are concealed behind layers. However, the image wouldn't be complete without them. Your compliance is comparable to those essential brushstrokes that enhance the overall attractiveness. Or consider constructing a wall one stone at a time. One stone could seem unimportant. However, the structure becomes weaker without it. Every stone counts. Every decision counts. Your wall is now stronger and more resilient to life storms thanks to what you accomplished today. Choose one, and don't undervalue the seasons that seem the same. Being loyal every day is not a waste. Training is what it is. It fortifies muscles you aren't yet aware you'll need. It sharpens your perception, purifies your soul, and gets you ready for conflicts that are yet to come. One lady persevered over a protracted waiting season. Even when nothing appeared to change, she continued to serve, pray, and be loyal. She had squandered her years, muttered those around her. However, it became evident that those years of concealment were not wasted time when her promise was eventually fulfilled. They served as her practice area. They had developed the fortitude and modesty required to bear blessings without cracking. The same is true for you. There is more to your waiting. We are aware of your obedience. You are getting ready for your visible future with each unseen step. The swift and the loud are typically valued in our environment, but the genuine and the steadfast are valued in heaven. The root is more visible to heaven than the fruit, because what fruit cannot sustain, roots can. Selected one. You are becoming deeply rooted. It may not be visible to you yet, but you will stand when the storm hits. You'll be there when others collapse, because of years of unspoken loyalty, not because of sudden power. Raise your gaze and take in a wider view. Your life is measured by the everlasting weight of all of your decisions, not by the number of days in a year. Heaven takes pleasure in the fact that today was only another stone, brushstroke, and hammer blow. So continue taking gradual steps. You're being led by the Lord. Over you, the Father is grinning. And even if what you accomplish today isn't visible to the outside world, it will go on forever as a bright mark. Remember that heaven counts differently when doubt begins to murmur. Does any of this matter? God cherishes what the world rejects. What seems too minor to bring up? His immortal book is where he writes. Imagine the brightness of stars. The star could be gone by the time we notice it. However, its light continues to shine across the cosmos. That's how you obey. Long after the moment has passed, its impact will still be felt. Don't hold back, then. Don't hate the seasons that are veiled. Every action is an ignition. Every stride is a seed. Every prayer is like a drop of water on dry ground. Selected one. Don't worry. You are creating something timeless. Heaven sees, even when you can't. Heaven keeps in mind, and heaven will eventually show out your faith's whole splendor. You'll see in retrospect that each silent step you took contributed to a heavenly mosaic. There was no waste. Every second counted, and the work of art that God was creating through you will always be beautiful. Selected one. You don't comprehend how much your obedience matters. Today, what looked insignificant was a lovely word, a choice to offer prayers. In actuality, a stride away from temptation was a blow to the darkness. These are triumphs. Heaven doesn't overlook anything. Such decisions could be overlooked by the world. They're not ostentatious. They're not in vogue, but they thunder in the spiritual world. More than the yells of the unstable, the silent feet of the loyal transform the terrain. Imagine rain chiseling away at rock. The stone first seems to be resistant, but gradually the toughest surface gives way. Your persistence accomplishes that. What seemed unyielding is reshaped by it, with constancy, not with noise. I remember a chosen one who endured many years of silence. Every day, she prayed for her family. However, nothing seemed to alter. Despite being ridiculed, she was able to forgive transgressions. She continued to be giving, even when she had few resources. Her kids eventually returned to their religion. They acknowledged that her constant, steadfast loyalty was what warmed their hearts. They have always been shaped by what seemed to be futile. In accordance with the revelation found in Deuteronomy 31 verses 6-7, be brave and powerful. Don't let them make you feel scared or frightened. You travel with the Lord, your God. He is never going to abandon you. Your anchor is this. You're not alone on your journey. In every secret act of trust, God himself is with you. He sees, he's happy, and he swears he won't leave you. Consider your compliance to be a secret root system. Nobody cheers for the roots. They aren't even visible. However, it is because of them that the tree can grow tall and produce fruit when it is in season. That's you, the unseen, steady life that will eventually blossom into a harvest that can be seen. Or picture a marble carving craftsman. To outsiders, the process seems to be sluggish, repetitious, and even undetectable. However, more the inside masterwork gets exposed with each chisel stroke. Everything that doesn't belong is being chiseled away by your everyday actions, displaying the beauty that God has created inside you. I now want you to declare this fact in the comment section. Put these words in writing. I'll go on. MY. Since this is your position, you're not giving up in the middle. You are making a declaration to heaven and any evil entity from your own heart. My trip is far from over. I will persist in my faith, obedience, and bravery. Whatever happens, it takes more than just typing to write it. It is consenting to the plan that heaven has for your life. Thus, get more self-assurance. Your loyalty is evident. You are directed in your steps. They're preparing your crown. And because of what you accomplished today, heaven is already celebrating. And maybe the one you've selected, you get tired occasionally. It's not weakness to ask, how long can I keep doing this without seeing results? It's sincerity. Yet even in your weariness, heaven whispers, keep going. Your steps are not wasted. Think about the farmer who tills the ground. Day after day, he works the soil, waters the seed, waits in silence. For months, nothing appears. But one morning, green shoots push through. The long waiting was not empty. It was necessary. Your obedience is the same. The silence is not absence. It is preparation. Let this image sink deep. Every prayer you whispered is like a bottle filled with water. Drop by drop, it fills. One day the bottle overflows and the blessing pours out. Nothing you gave was lost. Not a single tear, not a single sacrifice. Chosen one, your perseverance is not just shaping your future. It is protecting others. Someone's deliverance is tied to your obedience. Someone's hope is being held up by your consistency. You are carrying more than you know, but you are not carrying it alone. The Lord goes with you. So do not stop. Do not look at the silence and call it defeat. Call it the secret work of heaven. For when the season shifts, the fruit will be undeniable and every step you took will shine with meaning. Say it again in your spirit. I will continue. Let it echo. Let it become your rhythm. For those 3 words are not just intention. They are destiny. Lift your head. You are not unseen. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, steady, and strong. And heaven's record already bears witness to the glory of your obedience today. One day, chosen one, you will stand before the Lord and see every hidden choice shine like jewels in your crown. Until then, keep walking, keep choosing, keep enduring. For heaven's applause is already echoing over your life right now. Chosen one, what you did today did not disappear into silence. It was like a fragrance rising, invisible yet unmistakable. Heaven inhaled it and God's heart was glad. You may feel your obedience is too small, too hidden, but to Him it is beauty. Think of a candle in a storm. It flickers, it bends, it refuses to go out. That is you. Even in winds of discouragement, your flame has stayed. And heaven celebrates that stubborn light. Or imagine a river carving its way through stone. Day after day, drop after drop. It shapes what seemed unchangeable. That is your obedience consistent. By it, shaping eternity with every hidden yes. There was a chosen one who never thought her offerings mattered. She gave quietly, shared her time, encouraged strangers. People rarely thanked her. Yet heaven's record overflowed with her acts. Years later, she discovered her faithfulness had planted seeds in countless lives. What looked like ordinary kindness was eternal influence. Scripture reminds us in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 9, verse 7. Each of you should give what you have decided in your heart, not reluctantly or under compulsion. For God loves a cheerful giver. This is the secret. God never delights in pressure. But in freedom, your choices are not meant to feel heavy, but joyful. Whether you sow kindness, time, prayer, or even resources, the value is not measured by size, but by heart. And here I must speak sincerely. If this word strengthens you, you may choose to respond. You can like this message as a way of saying, I receive it. You can share it so that someone else in need finds hope. You can subscribe to stay connected to future words that heaven is releasing. And for some, God may nudge you further still. You may even donate not because you must, not because it is demanded, but because you desire to pour oil into the lamp so this light can keep shining. It is not about transaction.
It is about partnership. Think of it this way. When a traveler in the desert shares his water with another both live longer, that is what your giving does. It extends life, hope, and light to others. If you cannot give, do not feel burdened. Your presence, your prayers, your listening ear matter more than you know. But if you feel stirred, then your offering becomes a seed planted into good soil, multiplying far beyond what you can see. Imagine it like placing a stone into the foundation of a cathedral. One stone may not seem like much, but together they build something that will stand for centuries. Your support through prayer, sharing, subscribing, or giving is that stone. You are helping raise something that points countless eyes toward heaven. Or picture a lighthouse standing against crashing waves. Alone, its keeper cannot keep the lamp burning forever. But when others bring oil, the flame never dies, and the ships find their way home. That is what your partnership means. It keeps the flame alive for those still lost in the storm. Chosen one, never forget your obedience delights God, and your partnership strengthens the light. Both matter. Both echo in eternity. So walk in freedom. Respond as your heart leads, not as pressure dictates. For every act born in love is eternal treasure. Like the candle, you are still burning. Like the river, you are still shaping. Like the lighthouse, your light is guiding others. And if you feel led, take a step, whether small or great, and know that heaven smiles over it. For what you did today was enough to make God's heart glad, and what you choose tomorrow will only add more light to the story He is writing through you. And remember this, chosen one. Every time you respond in love, whether through action or support, you are adding another spark to the fire God is kindling on the earth. What feels small in your hands becomes mighty in His. Think of bread in a child's hands, 5 loaves and 2 fish. Alone they looked insufficient, but when surrendered to Jesus, they became a feast for thousands. That is how your offering works. When placed in God's hands, it multiplies beyond imagination. So never underestimate the power of your yes. Never belittle the weight of your obedience. The Lord delights, not in the measure of what you give, but in the heart behind it, chosen one. Walk free, walk joyful, and keep shining. Your part matters, your flame matters, and your story, though still unfolding, is already echoing with heaven's applause. Chosen one, there is a quiet strength in you that you may not even recognize. What you did today, though hidden, revealed that strength. You resisted where others would have yielded. You kept walking where others would have stopped. That is not weakness. That is victory. It is easy to undervalue such victories. People look for dramatic breakthroughs, for signs and wonders that dazzle, but heaven does not measure as the world does. Heaven treasures the unseen battles, the choices that no one else claps for. That is where real crowns are forged. Think of iron placed in fire. At first it looks like ordinary metal, but under the heat, it glows, it softens, and it can be shaped. Your daily obedience is the fire that shapes you into a vessel fit for God's purposes. What feels like routine is actually refinement. There was a chosen one who lived faithfully in obscurity. He never held a title, never stood on a platform, but he loved his neighbors, worked honestly, and prayed without ceasing. When he died, the entire town gathered to honor him. They spoke not of his wealth, but of his faith, kindness, and integrity. His hidden life had carried eternal weight. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 66, verse 2. These are the ones I look on with favor, those who are humble and contrite in spirit, and who tremble at my word. And this is what delights the heart of God. Not pride, not power, but humility and reverence. Every time you obey quietly, you're embodying this scripture. Heaven looks on you with favor. Picture your obedience like the turning of seasons. Winter feels barren, but beneath the soil, roots are deepening. Spring seems slow, but buds are forming. Summer reveals growth, and autumn brings fruit. Every stage has purpose, and none can be skipped. Your hidden faithfulness today is a season that will bring its fruit in time. Or imagine a sculptor chiseling marble. The chips that fall to the floor may look like waste, but they are proof that transformation is happening. In the same way, the sacrifices you make, the habits you surrender are not losses. They are shaping the masterpiece God designed in you. Chosen one. I know there are moments you feel weary. You wonder if your choices matter. You ask if heaven really notices. Let this truth settle in your heart. Yes, it matters. Yes, heaven notices. Yes, your labor is remembered. Think of the quiet rhythm of breathing. Inhale, exhale. It is so constant, so unnoticed. Yet without it, life cannot continue. Your daily obedience is like breathing. It sustains you even when it does not feel dramatic. There was a woman who carried burdens for years. She prayed without answer, gave without thanks, forgave without apology. People thought her life was uneventful. But when her time came, the generations after her rose to honor her. They carried blessings she had planted without ever seeing the harvest. Her hidden yes had shaped a legacy. So it is with you. The generations to come will eat fruit from trees. You are planting now. Your faithfulness is not just for you. It is for others. Lift your eyes. Chosen one. The path may seem ordinary, but the record of heaven is extraordinary. The Father delights in what you did today. It will echo into eternity, bearing witness that you walked faithfully when no one was watching. Keep steady, keep walking. Every unseen act is a jewel in the crown being shaped for you. And when the day comes, you will see what heaven has seen all along. That your hidden obedience was a story of glory. And when the enemy whispers, you are unseen, forgotten, overlooked. Silence him with truth. You are not forgotten. The Father who numbers the stars also numbers your steps. Every prayer, every choice, every hidden act is known by him. Think of lanterns hanging in a long hallway alone. One lantern seems small, but when lit together, they brighten the entire path. That is your obedience, part of a greater tapestry of light stretching across generations. So walk forward with courage. Do not despise the small days. Do not belittle the hidden seasons. They are sacred, holy, and heavy with eternal purpose. One day you will look back, and what felt ordinary will shine with glory. The record of heaven will reveal what you could not yet see. And you will rejoice knowing that every step silent, steady, and unseen was leading you closer to his heart. Every hidden moment is a thread in heaven's design. What feels small today will one day blaze like gold in his presence. Stand firm, chosen one. Your obedience is not wasted. It is weaving eternal beauty beyond imagination. Chosen one, what you did today may have felt unnoticed, but it stirred heaven. Every hidden choice is a seed, and heaven is faithful to water it until it blooms. Do not underestimate the quiet acts you release. They carry eternal significance.
There was a man who prayed in secret every morning. No one applauded. No one saw. He thought his prayers disappeared into the air. But years later, his children spoke of how they felt peace in their home. Even when storms raged outside, they never knew why until they learned of their father's prayers. His hidden obedience had covered them all along. The ancient words recorded in the book of Romans, chapter 2, verse 6, declare God will repay each person according to what they have done. Lo, this truth stands like a mountain, you will not be overlooked. What you plant in secret, God will honor in his time. Picture your obedience like a lantern hung on a post in the wilderness. To you it looks small, but to the weary traveler searching for a path, that single light is salvation. That is what your acts of faith do. They guide, they protect, they save. Even when you do not realize it or imagine drops of water falling steadily on a stone. At first, nothing seems to change. But over time, the hardest rock yields, shaped by what seemed weak. Your faithfulness works the same way. Slowly, giantly, it shapes what once seemed unmovable. Chosen one, your life is a testimony in progress. Today's obedience is tomorrow's strength. Today's seed is tomorrow's harvest. Do not despise the hidden places. They are shaping something magnificent. Now I want you to mark this moment with a prophetic act in the comments. Write this number 888. Why this number? Because it represents new beginnings. See completed in the overflow of God's goodness. When you type 888, you are declaring, I step into renewal. My hidden acts are not wasted. My story is moving into fresh beginnings by the hand of God. Oh, do not take this lightly. Writing it is more than typing digits. It is aligning your heart with heaven's promise. You are proclaiming to yourself, and to the unseen world. I walk in newness. I will not stop. I will keep planting, for my harvest is assured. So walk boldly, chosen one. Keep solving. Keep obeying, for heaven has seen you, and your story is still unfolding in glory. And perhaps you wonder, why must my obedience remain hidden? Why does no one seem to notice? The answer is this: God is teaching you to live for his gaze alone. The applause of people is fleeting, but his delight is eternal. Think of a pearl in the ocean's depth. No diver sees its slow formation. Layer by layer, pressure and time create beauty. Only when the shell opens is its worth revealed. That is your life. Chosen one, the hiddenness is not punishment. It is the womb of greatness. Consider also the roots of a tree. The taller the tree must grow. The deeper the roots must dig. If the roots are shallow, the storm will topple it. But if the roots run deep, the winds cannot move it. Your hidden acts are roots. They are anchoring you for the height you are called to carry. And this is why your number matters. 888 is not just digits. It is prophecy. It whispers of new beginnings, of resurrection power, of doors swinging open where walls once stood. It declares that cycles of struggle are giving way to seasons of breakthrough. By typing it, you are not hoping, you are claiming. You are stamping your obedience with heaven's seal of renewal. Do not despise these days. Even if they feel long, the Lord is weaving them into a tapestry you cannot yet see. Every thread matters. Every seed counts. Every hidden yes builds toward the day when glory will be revealed. So breathe deep. Rest your soul. Heaven is smiling over you. The Father has not forgotten. And one day the world will witness the fruit of what you sowed when no one was watching. Until then, walk steady, keep your lantern burning, and remember the quietest obedience today will echo the loudest in eternity. Even when silence surrounds you, heaven is not silent. The throne room echoes with songs over your life. What you planted in tears will be reaped in joy. What you carried in secret will be celebrated openly. Your story is not ordinary. It is sacred, chosen, eternal. So let your heart be at peace. You are not running in vain, not laboring for nothing. Every hidden step is a seed sown into eternity's soil, and God himself will bring the harvest in due season. Lift your head, chosen one. Keep walking. Keep solving. For even now, the Father whispers, well done. Keep going. The best is yet to come. Chosen one, there's a refining work happening inside you that you may not fully understand. What you did today, though hidden, was another strike of the hammer, shaping your life into strength. Every act of obedience is part of a greater training for battles ahead. The journey of the faithful has never been without resistance. If you have felt the weight of opposition, it is not a sign of weakness, but of significance. Darkness pushes hardest against those who carry light. The pressure you feel confirms that your steps matter. Think of a warrior training in silence. He lifts the sword again and again, day after day in an empty field. No crowd gathers to cheer. No one applauds the sweat on his brow. But when the battle comes, his unseen practice becomes his victory. That is what your obedience is doing now. Strengthening muscles you will one day rely on when the storm intensifies. There was once a chosen one who endured season after season of waiting. Doors closed. Opportunities passed by, and discouragement whispered that nothing would change. But he chose to remain faithful. He prayed, studied, prepared, even when no stage awaited him. When the moment finally arrived, he carried authority, clarity, and peace because his hidden years had prepared him for it. The ancient words recorded in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9 declare, "Have I not commanded you? Be brave and powerful. Don't be scared. Do not give up, because wherever you go, the Lord, your God, will be with you." Allow this to be your spirit's voice. Volume is not what strength is. It's about perseverance. Fearlessness is not the same as courage. It is deciding to obey in spite of fear. And you're already exhibiting that bravery. Consider your compliance to be like iron in a furnace. It is surrounded by fire. Sparks fly to the untrained eye as heat pushes in. To the skilled blacksmith, it seems devastating. It is change. There is no destruction of the metal. They're forging it. This season, that's you. You are not doomed by the flames. You created it. Or consider a runner who trains on desolate highways. Not a single metal. Noises. The sound of steady footfall. No people. In order to endure what others cannot throughout the marathon, he develops endurance in quiet. That's what your covert actions today are about. For the voyage ahead, they are endurance training. Selected one. You're not only strengthening yourself by remaining concealed. It's for the people who will eventually depend on you. They will be protected by your invisible prayers. Your unspoken sacrifices will provide them with opportunities. They will be motivated by your silent triumphs. Don't hate the practice field. Your current weight is helping you develop the muscles that will support you throughout more difficult times. Preparation is what seems to be resistance. Development is what seems like a delay. Additionally, a lady remained loyal during her years as a baron. There was quiet in response to her pleas. She did not, however, give up her faith. She was not the same lady who had begun to pray when her promise eventually materialized. She was more rooted, stronger, and deeper. She was equipped to wisely manage blessings, thanks to her covert instruction. The same is true for you. We are not wasting this season. You are becoming a fighter ready for everlasting triumph by the repetition of obedience, the calm, yes, the fortitude to keep going when no one is looking. Raise your eyes, one of them. You're not failing. You're in training. We don't forget you. They're forging you. And your spirit has already been strengthened by each act of obedience you have taken today. Go with courage. You are with the Lord who summoned you. You won't be consumed by the flames. All we'll do is refine, and you will stand when the time comes. Unfazed, because it wasn't for nothing that you trained. And one day you'll realize that every moment that was buried had a purpose. The secret sacrifices, the unseen tears, and the quiet prayers were all turned into weapons in the furnace of heaven. It was all worthwhile. Imagine pressure-formed diamonds. Long years of invisible weight produce indisputable brilliance. That's your tale. Selected one. The strain you bear now is yielding a brightness tomorrow that will bear witness to God's faithfulness. Rest your heart, then. You're not just getting by. Heaven is grinning while you're being prepped, polished, and honed. Being aware of the warrior you are growing into with each and every invisible act of obedience. Choose one. Your faithfulness today extended beyond your own path. It had an effect on people you would never meet. No act of loyalty occurs in isolation in God's kingdom. Every decision, sacrifice, and prayer has an impact that extends far beyond you. Imagine a lone pebble falling into a still lake. The ripples spread out and come into contact with far-off edges. The actual pebble never made it there. That's the life of servitude you lead. You cannot quantify the extent of what you stitch in secret. Once there was a chosen one who lived in silence, dutifully, and unnoticed. He forgave his adversaries, contributed to widows, and prayed for strangers. He passed away without fully understanding the consequences of his deeds. However, the accounts of those whose lives he impacted kept growing throughout the years. The fruits of his labor were felt for generations. What he considered insignificant has grown into a legacy. In Hebrews 12 verses 1 to 12, the Bible makes a declaration. Consequently, with the abundance of witnesses around us, let us cast aside everything that stands in our way and the sin that so easily entangles us, and let us diligently run the course that has been set out for us. This cloud of witnesses then observes with joy rather than judgment. Heaven attests that every action counts. You're not jogging by yourself.